All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Thursday, March 21st. Happy March Madness to anyone that's interested at least college basketball tournament next 3 weeks, beginning today through Sunday, weekend after weekend. Great to see all of our students, though. Andrea, I know you'll be rooting for your UConn Huskies. Great to see you. Great to see Brian. Great to see Bill from earlier. Just chatted with Bill earlier today. Had a great conversation with him, and a lot of us actually, in fact, from earlier today. Great to see all of us. All of us, though. Just let me just get a quick sound check, though. Just let me know if everyone can hear me loud and clear. Should be good to go there. Should be good to go across social media. At Cyber Trading You. As always, on the bottom left, you'll see it popping up there. If you're not followed or subscribed to any of our social media streams or platforms alike, namely YouTube, and that's kind of our main hub, but obviously Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, etc. At Cyber Trading You. Just be sure to follow or subscribe to us there. But I'll tell you what, just saved my ass on this GOEV trade. Just really by that, I mean, I ended up moving my stop a little bit lower, not like because I'm trying to move the goalposts, but really I said, wow, actually, this was like a nice little chart support here. Maybe it could hold a triple bottom or maybe a higher low. So I actually had my stop set on this trade at 446 here, and it came down. Doesn't always work out that well, but it did just save me where I recognized the chart support more than anything. And yeah, at least for now, it's just in this trade. We'll see if this could look to make a better push coming up here in just a little bit. Goev, we'll see. We're going to put this on our watch list to begin here. I don't mind. 1 second here. Write this down on my phone app here. I don't have my notepad in front of me. All right, go Ev. We'll just put this on our watch list to begin. But I know a lot of us were focused on the Reddit IPO. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But there's actually another stock that I was focused on from just before. I didn't shout it out to you earlier in the chat, at least, but the LU stock. This one, it was one from pre-market, and I was looking for this to try and fill the gap actually on the way down by the time the market opened up. It dropped off a little bit, tiny short, not the biggest, not the best, but ended up making for a decent little move. And now at this point, I think that this could be a decent long, so long as it can hold above VWAP and hold above 475, namely from here. So a couple stocks that I have my eye on for sure. I'm going to put the LU stock back on our watch list here for the meantime. Not just because I'm in it, but obviously it's trending upward right now. It's up obviously a lot this afternoon. Number 5 on the gainers list for right now. So with it trending up a lot better at this point, hopefully there will be a lot more eyeballs where we can catch on to this trade, have it run up better for us into the close. Resistance likely at $5 going into the afternoon. It didn't really touch it in pre-market, so if it ends up making this run, I'd still expect 5 to act as a resistance there, and we'll see if that can make the push. But otherwise, though, let's just go right from top to bottom here. We'll see what we could add to our watch list, though. Coming off the Fed meeting, I mentioned this to one of our students, Wayne, earlier this morning. The Fed day itself, you're going to see some movement. After the Fed day, it's not as if it's like, oh, perfect trends up and down. It's still a little stagnant. So we're coming off earnings season on top. Actually, I have a couple coming out later on today and kind of under the radar, but outside of just this afternoon, really we're kind of out of the prime earnings season, and we'll see if there's anything good going into the next few weeks, but might be a little slow. The KAVL, at least to begin, top percent gainer still ended up making its better move in the morning. Typically right around 10:15, 10:30, we tend to see stocks end up reversing, hitting their peak and pulling back. So kind of right around that ballpark area, we ended up seeing that happen here on this trade, the KAVL. SOC on warrants. I guess I didn't mean to click on that actually. All right, well, we keep going through. Have a bunch of stocks that are like dirt cheap here on the gainer side. We're not really trading the stocks below $1. That's not really our cup of tea right there. So we kind of just fish through those. And Caesars. Fausto had called this one out earlier this morning. Made a good pop yesterday for us at the same time. It just got a thin order book. It's not really my favorite type of trade here, just looking at how thin the orders are out there collectively. Ooh, how about this? AMTX actually making a move back up to resistance here at $5. I like the way this is looking at least here. Kind of similar to that LU. If LU could at least, hold higher lows, get that push back up again. AMTX a little bit more volatile, moves a little bit faster than that last one LU. And so long as it has a good spread, that's a good thing. As long as the spread doesn't open up to 5, 7, 10 cents here out of nowhere, that's a good thing. We like, fast, just moderately. All right, so GoEv we already have on our list here too. The AMTX we just put on. Got Lace. X4. I got a bunch of cheapies actually here. Just kind of go through them quickly. Not so cheap this one, MU. Micron, of course, with the market pulling back a little bit right now. SOXL, this has been diving off. This is the chip ETF. We tend to follow this more than a more expensive ticker like, AMD, NVIDIA, even Micron. Just good liquidity. It represents the whole sector. If NVIDIA or AMD are coming off of earnings or news, of course, we'll focus on those then. And Micron is coming off of earnings of its own. But at this stage right now, this is just the better bang for the buck. It's a gap fill opportunity, at least now at this point. And yeah, SOXL definitely. I'll put on this list as more of a short trade actually here. All right, we keep going through, see if there's anything else looking like a recognizable name on the gainer side here. If that, a lot of low volume, honestly, here too. Not just cheap, but low volume. RVSN, the stock we've done pretty well on over the last like month and a half, maybe 3 months at that. But what goes up comes back down. We'll see it move back up a little bit here and there afterwards. But this isn't like the best looking that we've seen the stock trade. All right, so we'll see if there's anything looking just as good, if not better. Maybe a good short or two to work with on top of the SOXL, from the loser side at least there. SPIR. Ooh, that's right. That's how I remember the stock. This is one from back just Monday and Tuesday this week. We had called out, made a nice little spike up back then. We did say it was on some pretty thin volume back then, but honestly, I didn't even care to check for it today. I guess it's shortable. Led to a big drop at the open, still pulling back a little bit here and there, but kind of same to be said here as we said just the last 2 days. Liquidity matters, and you want to have a stock that's on a good spread, good tier size on level 2 at that, and not really looking too good there. Lead Chinese equity here, Chinese EV company. I know I got to bring that up just because a lot of the Chinese stocks fade off sooner than the US equities do, unless if there's news pertaining to the stock itself and you see some really big spikes of volume kicking in. I'm not as tempted to trade like stocks like Lee, stocks like Neo. What do we got? Billy. Those were the main three that we traded back like, last year at some point when the China markets were exploding up. Of course, we got like Yin, China ETF, you got FXI. I mean, those are at the lows of the day, respectively. But going back to Lee, Chinese EV company, not really looking too, great. Don't need to put it on our list. HUYA, another Chinese company there, in fact. All right. So, how about this? If there's anything else looking good, folks, up, down, left, right, just more than 5%, type it in the chat board. I kind of went through pretty quick, but that's because, really outside of the few that we were looking at there, Reddit. In fact, we'll look at that one too. We were looking for support off of 47 at first, just the opening bell print price, and it's starting to move back up right now. But I would expect 47 to act as resistance on this trade now initially. It broke under it pretty cleanly here. So if it can at least kind of hold under it for a little bit and then push over it heading into like 3 o'clock, 3:15, I think that could lead to a pretty good squeeze heading into the close. I'll put it on our list as more of like a show and tell type of stock. Oh, I loved how, who was it, Charlene, I think, had written it down earlier in the chat. And I don't have the main chat in front of me here. Pardon me, Charlene, on that. But I think she said it was just for an experimental or, just for fun, basically, in some regard. It was a good way of phrasing it. But more or less, yeah, we'll kind of put it on our watch list for that reason. Ron says crazy spreads. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. For a stock like this, you're trading at $5 and $10 levels and just pretty much the opening print, 47 that Rich called out there. That's why I have this on the chart there, 47. Michael says GES a little flat though. Yeah, saw that on the gainer side, right? I guess it was a little expensive, not too, but I guess I skipped over it at the time being. But yeah, a little flat. You're right with saying that. It kind of looks like a buyout, right? I doubt that it is. I doubt that it is, but just be fun to look it up. My assumption would be earnings, but yep. Oh, and they declared special dividend, $2.25 per share. That's interesting to note, but otherwise, yeah, a little flat. Oh, actually, while I'm at it, Benzinga Pro, keep right back up here. Go back to my scan here. In fact, show you this before we finish up. Anything else looking good will show up on this column here. AMTX, we got that one already. GoEv, already on our list already. LU, already on our list already. So I like what we got so far, folks. Not a bad list. Don't need to force anything else on there. And That was it, Charlene. There we go. For entertainment purposes only. I like that. It's a good way to phrase it. All right. So, hey, you know what? I think that we're going to finish up a little early, make this one quick and easy for all of us. In fact, that gives us more time to prep these stocks up for Roseanne, Jeff, Ron, Michael, Charlene, Dominic, Kathleen, and all of us otherwise. Hey, it gives us the chance to go through level 4, go through the order book, see where the icebergs are on any of these trades that we're putting on our list. For instance, the GoF stock, I'll just kind of do here for you. Well, I got resistance at 5 right here, 49, 50,000 share seller at $5. So that clearly is your top. You would assume a whole number level would be resistance, but that confirms it. That's your confirmation right there. So that's your resistance. You'd want to see this hold over 450 past resistance as support, which it just did. Trying to still looking good. All right, but hey, I'll be back on the mic in just about 20 minutes. Wow, finished this one up pretty early, so gives myself a little time, catch my breath, refill up on water. We'll be good to go coming up at 3 o'clock, folks, just for the afternoon. Talk to you then.